Jamaica, every day more Jamaicans join what may be the fastest growing political party on the island. Unlike every other party, membership is automatic. All it takes is enough birthdays. It's called the SCP, the Senior Citizens Party. You see, one thing neither of the two major political parties has figured out yet is how to stop aging, how to stop getting old. Nobody campaigns against aging. No manifesto promises to cancel wrinkles. No parliamentary debate has yet succeeded in defeating arthritis. And trust me, if arthritis could vote, every politician in Jamaica would be holding town hall meetings in every pharmacy across the island. But beneath all the political noise lies a conversation that Jamaica desperately needs to have, my friends. What does it mean to grow old in Jamaica today? Because the Jamaica many of us grew up in no longer exists. That is, there was a time when every district had plenty of children, grandchildren running up and down the yard. Sunday dinner with 3 generations packed around one table. If Granny coughed, somebody heard it. If Grandpa fell, somebody was there to help him up. The children are now in Kingston or in Toronto or Fort Lauderdale or London or somewhere overseas, promising to come home next Christmas. The same next Christmas they have been promising for 15 years. Now, before the diaspora starts sending me angry emails, let me be clear. Many of our overseas Jamaicans are doing heroic work. The barrels come, the remittances come, the phone calls come, the care packages come. But a barrel cannot take you to the doctor. A Western Union transfer cannot cut your lawn. And WhatsApp cannot pick you up when you fall in the bathroom. Yet, this is the reality facing thousands of Jamaican seniors right now. Growing old, living alone, watching communities change around them. Wondering who will be there when they need help the most. And here's where the politics enters the conversation. Every election season, politicians suddenly discover senior citizens. Ever notice that? They hug every grandmother they can find. They kiss babies. They promise healthcare reform, better pensions and affordable medicine. Then somehow, immediately after election day, many seniors become harder to find than a parking space in halfway tree on a Friday afternoon. The truth is that Jamaica is aging. Whether politicians, commentators, or we ourselves want to discuss it or not, the population is getting older. Families are getting smaller. Young people continue to migrate, and healthcare costs continue to rise. But here's the part nobody in Gordon House seems eager to discuss. Jamaica has spent decades planning for children, planning for schools, planning for jobs, planning for housing, planning for crime, combating crime that is, planning for tourism. But who exactly has been planning for the fact that hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans are getting older? Think about it. When politicians travel across the island, they love talking about attracting young voters, and that's cool. Every party has a youth arm. Every party has youth conferences. Every party has youth representatives. But where is the national conversation about aging? Because whether you support the JLP, the PNP, or the People's National Party of complaining about everything, one fact remains. The Jamaican population is getting older, and that creates questions that no amount of political tribalism can answer. Who will care for seniors living alone? Who will help those whose children live overseas? Who will ensure health care remains affordable? Who will protect elderly Jamaicans from fraud, abuse, and neglect? And perhaps most importantly, who is speaking for them? Now, before somebody jumps into the comment and says, but the government has programs. Yes, there are programs, no doubt about that. There are agencies, there are policies, there are announcements. There are even committees. Jamaican can create a committee like there's no other. If committees could solve problems, Jamaica would be the richest country in the Western Hemisphere, because boy, we are good at forming committees. But many seniors are asking a simpler question. Are these programs actually reaching the people who need them most? Because for some elderly Jamaicans, life has become an exercise in mathematics. Of course, not the kind you learned in school. It's the kind where you stand in a pharmacy trying to decide whether this month's money goes to medication, electricity, food, or transportation. The math where every increase in the cost of living feels deeply personal. It's the kind where inflation isn't something economists discuss on television. It's something you feel in your chest when you reach the supermarket checkout. And here's another uncomfortable truth that we must face. Many of today's seniors built the Jamaica we now enjoy. There were the teachers who educated generations, the farmers who fed communities, the nurses who cared for the sick, the police officers who maintained order. They paid their taxes, raised families, and carried this country through its most difficult times. Yet some now feel as though the country they spent a lifetime building has simply moved on without them. That may sound harsh, but listen carefully to the conversations taking place in churches, districts, shops, community centers. Listen to them. Doctors' waiting rooms. I listen to them. You will hear a recurring theme. Loneliness, not just poverty, not just politics. Loneliness. It is one of the greatest hidden crises facing Jamaica's seniors. The phone rings less often. Friends pass away. Mobility becomes difficult. Communities change, and suddenly a person can be surrounded by people yet feel completely alone. No political party can fix that with a press conference. No minister can solve it with a speech. This is a national challenge that belongs to all of us. Families, churches, communities, businesses, and government. Because this conversation isn't really so much centered on just age, it's about dignity. The dignity of being able to afford medication, the dignity of keeping your lights on, the dignity of not feeling forgotten, the dignity of knowing that your final years will not be spent worrying about who will help you get the groceries. Because one day, if God spares our lives, every single one of us will join the fastest growing political party in Jamaica, the Senior Citizens Party. And unlike every other party, membership is going to be automatic. You don't even need a nomination form. You just need enough birthdays. Jamaica, I don't want this conversation to end with complaints. Because if all we do is identify problems, we are no better than the politicians that we criticize. So, what are the practical solutions? First, we need an explicit national strategy. Every major political party should be required to tell the country exactly what its plan is for an aging population. Not slogans, not promises, a fully budgeted plan. Secondly, community check-in networks. Many elderly Jamaicans don't need full-time care. They simply need someone to check in, a phone call, a visit, help getting groceries, or a ride to the doctor. This is where churches, civic groups, and citizens associations must step up. And what about support for family caregivers? You see, what I find is that many Jamaicans are quietly caught up in the sandwich generation, caring for aging parents while simultaneously supporting children and grandchildren. They need resources, respite care, and of course, social recognition. And then there's the digital literacy. We need community programs that teach seniors how to safely use smartphones, video calls, online banking, and telehealth technology. Of course, all these will never replace a physical hug, but it bridges the ocean when loved ones live abroad. We also need an aggressive protection against exploitation. We need stronger laws and active enforcement against elder abuse and financial scams that target vulnerable seniors. And finally, we must rebuild a culture that honors aging. You see, somewhere along the way, society became obsessed with youth. Youth is like an everlasting fountain. But age is not a weakness. Age is experience. Age is wisdom. Age is sacrifice. Every senior citizen in Jamaica carries a story that helped lay the foundation of this nation. And so the question is whether we still value those stories. Because the Jamaica we create for today's seniors is the exact Jamaica waiting for us tomorrow. Youth, in between, or whatever. Jamaica, we do need to talk. Not about how old our seniors are, but about how much we truly value them. This has been Dear Jamaica. We need to talk. Until next time, stay tuned, stay engaged, and subscribe, share, and like the videos. It helps the channel to continue to bring a more balanced perspective on all things Jamaican. See you next time.
Dear Jamaica, here we come.